Awesome. So let's start session one. Uh, One of the first things that I'd like to check is um, how was your experience with the writing exercises?
Well, my experience with the writing exercises is quite good because I was able to express myself at least little by little.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. You were saying more things. Keep going.
uh, okay, yeah. Just like what I have said, I was able to express my idea at least little by little, sentence by sentence, and I can uh, I can easily identify my mistakes every time that I will write something. At first, of course, it is normal that I at first I feel that my sentence is already correct, but because of the technique that I have read, I once I read the sentence once again, I can identify that there was a mistake. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So a technique and
Which technique are you
the
referring to?
please what's that?
Oh.
Shorten the sentence
Mm-hmm.
at least shorten the sentence. I have forgotten the term,
Okay.
but it is something like shorten my sentences
Oh.
at least one paragraph.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
one
Well,
one
there's
sentence paragraph.
yeah, there's a
Sentence
one
paragraph.
sentence paragraph lesson, and then there's a lesson that said shorten your sentences.
Yes, yeah, yeah, that's it.
So, what happened when you began using the one sentence paragraph format and you began shortening your sentences?
Uh, when I began to start a one paragraph sentence, just like what I have said, I was able to express myself, and yeah, I can identify my mistakes. At first, of course, I am having difficulties on what to say, on what to write, but I keep on going. I just tried my best.
Okay, very good.
Mhm.
What do you think would be the effect on your communication skills now that you began writing your thoughts on paper?
Can you please try to repeat the question?
What do you think would be the effect on your communication skills now that you've began writing your thoughts and your ideas on paper? Or
Well,
yeah.
okay. Well, I think the effect is that right now, I was able to communicate in English, unlike before that I was really having difficulty to express or to speak in English because I am not that confident on what I am going to say. But because of this technique, at least little by little, I am trying to compose an idea inside of my mind, sentence by sentence.
Okay. Do you feel that the sentences that you've written down in the past week or so, do you think you'll ever use these sentences in real conversations?
Can you please try to repeat the question because I am not
Oh,
using
okay.
earphone right now.
Oh,
I am
okay.
only using my phone and loudspeaker.
Oh, okay. Do you feel that you're going to use the sentences that you've written down in real conversations? Or
Yes, of course, there are some answers that I have written that I think and I feel that I will be able to use in a real life conversation.
oh, okay. That's good to hear. I did my best to select questions that will put you in a spot where you're going to write essays or write sentences that you're going to use in day-to-day conversations. Like for example, basic introduction. It's the topic is all about you. So when you talk to people, when you meet people for the first time, you have some sentences that you could use. It's also the same thing with the questions activity. It's the same for the giving instructions. And well, we'll go over that one by one. And during today's session, we are going to read through your answers, and the goal is to identify your mistakes. Once we identify your mistakes, the best part is we are going to, well, here's the thing. When it comes to mistakes, it's not just one mistake. It's usually more. What do you call that? The mistakes that you make on activity one is expected to show up in your future activities. So if you have a grammar error, there's a good chance that you're going to keep repeating that grammar error. Okay?
Okay.
So if we fix one mistake, we fix a lot of your future mistakes as a result. So what we're going to do, like if you've seen any of my coaching videos, what we usually do is I'm going to read through your answers first, and then as we've discovered errors to correct, I'm going to have you read some of your answers. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So please go to activity one, basic introduction. I'm going to start reading.
Okay. Okay. I'm on it.
All right. So it says here, my name is Kelvin. I used to work as a construction worker for 1 year. I used to work for my uncle's company. My dream job is to become a call center agent, or maybe in, well, it's missing a word, maybe work in a back office account.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just put that here. The good thing about using Google Docs is I can make changes from my end, and you can see it.
Yes.
I'm good at giving love advice. That's awesome. And then try me. I studied at Golden Link College in Caloocan City. Um, I would put the name of school again.
Okay.
So Golden Link College is not a very famous school, but one of the best in developing one's personality and character. I don't want other people to know that I am having this kind of training. I am afraid of criticism. Well, criticism is what helps us grow. When people point out your errors, you know what to fix. All right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The worst situation is, let's say for example, you're wearing jeans or pants and you forgot to put up your zipper and your dick is hanging out. The worst thing that can happen is no one tells you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? The best thing that can happen is someone's going to tell you, "Hey man, your zipper's open, your dick is hanging out."
Mm-hmm.
At least you know, and you can zip up your zipper, right? Or you can fix your clothes. But if no one tells you, you're going to walk around the whole day until you realize that your dick is hanging out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you want to receive as much criticism as you can possibly can, so you can find what to fix. Fix that, and you'll have less problems in the future.
All right. Yeah. I got it.
So your attitude with criticism needs to change. I am not an introverted person. I usually like to talk to people. Very good. I'm not confident in almost anything, in almost everything. So where are you confident and where are you not confident? So that's a good thing. That's a good question to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
we're
should I answer
yeah.
that right
Go
now?
ahead. Go ahead. I'd like to hear it.
I am confident in yeah, talking with anybody else. Of course, with my mother tongue, with my mother tongue. But in terms of using the other language, which is of course English, I am somehow have hesitation to do something or to express myself in front of the others. But of course, if I am using my vernacular language, I can confidently say everything that I wanted to say. But if I am going to use English, I don't know. There is a really nervousness inside of me that I need to surpass.
Well, I have the same problem before. I'm not sure if you've read my story
Yeah, yeah.
in the
That's the
lessons.
that's the reason why I can relate, and I
I,
am really trying my best right now.
I'm the guy with bad communication skills. And the best way that I found and what's worked for me is I started writing down my thoughts. I started writing down my stories. I started writing down things that I'm supposed to say. You know, like when you're trying to have an important conversation, like if you're going to talk to your boss or if you're going to make a request, a big request from your parents, you want to make sure that you say everything that you're supposed to say. So what I did was I started listing down what I wanted to say and then inspected what I've written down because sometimes like if you're emotional, you say things that are out of line. Or sometimes when you're afraid, you don't get to say everything that you want to say. You might forget. So, having a list, having a written version of your message will allow you to speak more comfortably, right? So right now I'm a little more fluent than I was when I was starting out, and it's all because of my practice writing everything that I wanted to say. And I also do the same thing. If I said something that I thought was awesome, I'm gonna write that down for future use, right? That's one of the skills that I learned in sales. Like if I said something and the customer got excited and the customer bought from me, I'm writing that down because I'm gonna use that again on my future customers. So, and for day-to-day conversations, that's kind of like the same thing, right?
Okay.
So, my favorite fruit is pineapple. I like so yeah, you want to use minimize the use of pronouns like it. I like pineapples because pineapples are sweet. One of the bad habits that we began to form in high school is we began using pronouns more often, and our teacher taught us a rule to just use the noun once and then use the pronoun for the succeeding sentences. But here's the problem: when you're using pronouns often, especially if you're talking about a lot of different things, your message becomes more confusing as you your message becomes more confusing as your topic gets more complicated. So, for example, you're telling a story about two people, and if you start using the word him, you don't know who you're talking about, right? So, for example, you're telling a story between two people. If both characters in that story are oh sorry if the characters in that story is male and female, you can use him and her, he and she, right?
Yeah.
But so if you use those words, you're gonna understand the story. Like he's doing this, she's doing this. Um, there's something wrong with him, there's something wrong with her, you would know which character is him and her. But if you have two male characters instead, and you start using him, the reader or the listener is going to get confused. Who is he talking about again? Who's this he? Who's this him that you're talking about? Right?
Okay, okay.
And it's the same problem with the word that or them, because if you're talking about multiple things, then or it, like pineapples. If you start talking about, like you said, my favorite fruit is pineapple, and if you repeat a similar answer about a different kind of food, like my favorite food is sinigang, for example, and then I like it because it tastes good. Like, which one are we talking about? The sinigang or the pineapple? Right? It gets confusing when you depend on pronouns. And the main reason why I decided to break using pronouns is because if you plan to work in a call center, 90% of your job involves giving instructions.
Okay.
And when you give instructions, you want to be specific. Even if your instructions are going to sound redundant, you want your instructions to be specific.
Okay.
So you want to use the option that is specific, even if you risk sounding redundant. So you mentioned I like to improve my English. I believe that people will look after you if look after you. In Tagalog, I believe that people will babantayan ka if you are confident in English. Is that what you mean?
Uh, what I mean there is that they will uh, they will depend on you, something like that.
You mean look up to you.
Yeah, look up.
So it's not after. It's look
Yeah.
up to you.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm happy that I have become part of this training. So I assembled the 15 basic questions because these are questions that you can ask on a regular basis. So when you talk to people, you need to be able to ask these questions. And at the same time, your pronunciation needs to sound okay. So can you start reading these questions? Like just a question, like one, like what's your name? What's your nickname? Can I hear you read these questions?
Okay, okay, okay. So should I finish it up to 15? Up to
Yes.
number 15?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's your name? What's your nickname? Where are you from? Where do you live? What do you enjoy doing? How do you spend your free time? Where did you go to school? What course did you study? Where do you work? What kind of work do you do? Where do you go? Where do you go to church? What kind of sports do you engage in? How old are you? How many siblings do you have? What's your family business?
Okay. You sound okay. I'm gonna can you remind me? I'm gonna make a recording of me reading all these questions so you can have a reference. You sound mostly okay.
Okay.
There are a few adjustments like wait, I'm gonna read this real quick and then you let me know which question sounds different, okay? And then we can
Okay.
work on that. So what's your name? What's your nickname? Where are you from? Where do you live? What do you enjoy doing? How do you spend your free time? Where did you go to school? What course did you study? Where do you work? What kind of work do you do? Where do you go to church? What kind of sports do you engage in? How old are you? How many siblings do you have? What's your family business? What do you think? Uh, what words or what questions sound different?
What question sounds what?
Uh,
Sorry.
which of the questions did I read differently?
Sorry, but I wasn't really able to catch up.
Oh, that okay. That's okay. I'll just send you the recording anyway. Um,
Okay.
so basic instructions. Why do you think it's important to give instructions, or why do you think we had to focus on instructions for this lesson?
I think it is very important to give instructions because because if you want to right because I think it is important because uh, uh, yeah, if you have clear instructions, of course, people will be able to follow and to reach or yeah, to reach their goal.
Okay. Why do you think instructions are important to call center work?
Ah, just like what you have said a moment ago, most of the time we are going to give instruction to the people, and if we are not able to give proper instruction, of course, they are there's a possibility that the customer will be upset to whatever that we have given to them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, sorry. My dogs are barking. One moment.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't able to hear you clearly
I,
because right now it's raining here.
okay.
And just like what I have said, I don't have earphone and I am only using my cell phone and loudspeaker.
Okay. Just one moment. I'll be right back. Please stay on the line. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about the wait. I'm back. Yeah. So in instructions. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah. 90% of call center work is giving instructions. Whether you are working in customer service, tech support, or sales, your job is to give instructions. And the clearer your instructions are, the easier your job is going to be. Okay? And some of the most important elements of giving instructions is making sure that your instructions are understandable to like almost anyone. Like you don't need a college degree to understand the instructions, or you don't need specialized training to understand instructions. So, in this
Okay.
activity, we are going to look at how you give your instructions, and let's see what you did well and what's missing,
Mhm.
and then I'll give you some feedback. You said here, I live in Maligaya Park subdivision, Camarin, Caloocan City. It's only 5 minutes away from my office. So what I usually um, do is my home is
Mhm.
only 5 minutes away from the office. Like you want to be a little more specific.
Yeah, yeah.
From our house, which is like good job from our house, you just need to walk. Our house is located in the middle of a crossroad. We have a store. The name of the store
Mhm.
is 3R Store. Of the So the name of the store is 3 hour store. Imagine that you are in our house. So very good. Just open the gate, turn to the left. Keep on walking until you see Parkland Hardware. If you see the Parkland Hardware, just turn left. Just keep on walking. You will see A signage. So it's missing an A. Um, so the signage. So what I would do is the signage will have Golden Link College written on it. Okay? Um, that's it. You're already there. Okay. So it's very good because your instructions are very clear. This instruction is a good set of instruction if you're talking to someone who's coming exactly from your house. Okay? So you have good landmarks. However, this is what's missing from your instructions. You forgot the street names. So a lot of my students, they depend on landmarks that they remember. So in your case, you mentioned that you open the gate, turn left, you'll see Parkland. Keep walking until you see Parkland Hardware. If you see Parkland Hardware, just turn left. And then just keep walking, and then you'll see the signage that says Golden Link College. Okay? What's missing from your instructions is the street name. If you add the street name of like where, like what's the street on Parkland Hardware, you need to add that, and then you add like where he turns left. Well, like what's the name of the street where the person turns left, and then your instructions will be crystal clear. Like no one's going to get lost with that kind of instructions. But this is good already. You just want to add more details so you can make sure that your instructions are difficult to mess up. All right. So far, when it comes to the corrections, the recurring errors that I notice is the specificity of the words. So you tend to use the pronouns. So we need to fix that. You want to be more specific. So instead of using it, use what you are referring to. Like in this case, pineapples. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Um, and then yeah, like instead of saying it, you can say my home. So you can see the corrections in your file in your Google document.
Yes, I can
Okay.
see that.
Next, let's go to lesson 4, building connections. So we're talking about what's the story of your favorite song. My favorite song is "When I Met You" by Apo Hiking Society. Before, I was a timid kind of. You can put this backwards. You can say I was a timid kind of person before.
Okay. So it is better to put it at the end.
Yeah, you want to like let's say you can write a sentence that has a version that has a comma and a version that has no comma. You want
Okay.
I kind of noticed this with Filipinos, like because in Tagalog we have this ano, 'di ba? Dati I was a timid kind
Okay.
of person. Like that's what you mean when you say before I was a timid kind of person. But in English, they don't speak like that. Um, so you want to write the version that's not an exact translation of the Tagalog version. Like you want it to sound more like how an American would say it, and how an American would say it is like, "I was a timid kind of person before." they don't they don't say one word or two words and then they say comma or they add a comma and then they say what they really meant to say. So I don't usually share my stories with others. I don't communicate that much. I guess this is okay. Suddenly a girl came to me. She asked for my name. I answered her. We became friends. We became very close to each other. I fell in love with her. It's just a one sided love. Everything had changed after I confessed my love for her. If I did not give up until I felt that I didn't have a chance. Wait, sorry. I did not give up until I felt that I didn't have a chance. I decided to change for the better. I started to join a different organization. I developed my communication and connection with other people. I did that because she was also that kind of person. She loved to communicate with others. She loved to connect with people. Nothing happened to I yeah, it should be to. It's not with. Nothing happened to my love for her. But at least I've changed for the better. I was able to have a lot of friends. I was able to share my stories with others. I was glad to have met her. So I guess it's okay. I was glad to have meet. Not really. It should be I was glad to have met her. I was glad to meet. I was glad to meet her is okay, but it's a lot. It sounds a lot better if he said I was glad to have met her. Uh, Eto, yung for, you don't need to use this. You can remove for, and your sentence will sound and mean exactly the same. I know I've changed for the better. Every
Okay.
time I hear the song When I Met You, I always remember this girl who changed my life. She is one of my favorite persons in the world. I'm not sure about that. It might be people in the world. One of
Mhm.
my favorite people in the world.
Okay.
So, very good when it comes to sharing your stories. Your story, your activity about the story is the best. Oh, wait. Hey, quiet. Quiet, quiet. Come here. So, she's still one of my favorite people in this world. Isa lang naman, no? Isa lang yung world. Wala pa tayo sa next world. So, pwedeng
Yeah.
the. It's a lot better if he just sees the here.
I will think the
Instead na
word.
this. Kasi parang ano, parang in this world or the next world yung sinasabi mo. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
let's move forward to your oh yeah, feedback. This is good. I didn't really change anything. Like one, two, three sentences out of ilan to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So out of 28 sentences, I fixed like four sentences. And that's it. So it's not a big deal, right? So it sounds like you're a lot better when you're telling stories.
Okay.
So it sounds like compared to this person that you were talking about from the time you met this girl that you remember from hearing the When I Met You song by Apple Hiking Society, like it sounds like you've changed already. You've evolved quite a bit. So that's very good.
Okay.
Um, so let's go to the story of your favorite movie. So at this point, I want you to start reading it.
Okay. My favorite movie or TV show is Hunter x Hunter. This is an anime. The main characters are pretty amazing. When I was young, I used to play the character of Killua with my friends. I like his character. I like his characteristics. He is mysterious. I love this anime. It taught me a lot of lessons. I've watched it many times in Tagalog and even in English dub. It gives me a different point of view in life. Like nothing is impossible to the determined person. It takes a lot of time to master something. Just focus on your goal and it will become yours someday. These are the examples of lessons that I've learned. This is just a simple anime for others, but for me, this is something else. This anime somehow changed my point of view in life. I will always be amazed to watch Hunter X Hunter.
Okay, very good. Can you see the changes that I'm doing?
Yes, yes. Yeah, most of the time, pronoun.
Yeah, it's a pronoun problem.
Yeah.
Ayun, isa pa, something I want you to learn. You want to other than the pronoun, the word something. Do not
Mm-hmm.
depend on the word something.
Yeah.
You want to
That's
be
very
specific.
broad.
So, check this out.
Okay.
What's the original sentence?
It takes a lot of time to master something.
And then what's the new sentence?
Mastering a skill takes a lot of time. Yeah, that
Very
will
good.
sound
Because
better.
that's exactly what you mean, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And the message sounds a lot clearer with this set of words.
Mhm.
Just focus on your goal and it will become yours someday. Um, I guess the better choice of words here is you. Um, I forgot the name of the rule, but one of the grammar corrections that I always get is to remove the word just.
Okay.
I forgot the explanation of the rule, but like the overall feel is when you remove the word just, your sentence sounds more confident. So I'm going to change this. You can achieve. Oh, wait. Achieve. Yeah, sorry, my computer's slowing down a little. You can achieve your goal. Kasi ito yun eh, it will become yours. Like, you can achieve your goal. Like, that's what you're talking about. If you focus. There. It's about the same. It's the same message, right? That's what you mean, right?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
So yeah, it might be better if you use this instead of the other one. So I'm just gonna cross this out. I'm gonna cross this out just so you know. These are examples of lessons that I've learned. So I guess okay lang to. This is just a simple anime. So again, Hunter x Hunter. From what I know, the Japanese do not read the X.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Hunter.
So from what I've heard, it's read as Hunter x Hunter,
Mm.
and I think the X signifies like a space, like a separation for them. But for me, so yun, same correction. Hunter x Hunter is something else. This anime, diretso na. Hunter x Hunter. So, paulit-ulit. Ano siya pakinggan? What do you call that? It sounds repetitive, but
Yeah, redundant.
no, it's not redundant. It keeps us on topic. Because most of the time, from personal experience, you're gonna have long conversations. And you wanna stay on topic.
Mm-hmm.
I will always be amazed to watch Hunter x Hunter. Ito lang yung medyo ibang error. I will always be amazed to watch Hunter x Hunter. Hindi amazed. I think you mean fascinated.
Okay.
Sorry. Wag will. Pag sinabi mo kasing will, mamamangha ako lagi pag nanonood ng Hunter x Hunter. That's the Tagalog translation. But I am always amazed so tanggalin ko yung B at watching
Mm-hmm.
medyo complex tong change na to so sorry na I am always amazed at watching Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Kasi pag will ang will kasi is future. So parang nangangako ka na in all future times na manonood ka ng Hunter x Hunter, sabi mo be tsaka amazed. So, in the future, mamamangha ka. Yung be amazed kasi is past.
Mm-hmm.
So, future tsaka past. So, medyo nakakaano siya. Doon siya nagiging, what do you call that? Doon siya nagkakaroon ng conflict sa grammar. But you can say, I am always amazed at watching Hunter x Hunter. It's like a present form siya.
Okay.
So, it's like you're saying na namamangha ako or natutuwa ako every time that I watch Hunter x Hunter. And it's also less complicated if the construction is less complicated if you are using this format. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Gets mo ba? Medyo parang
Yes.
okay, good.
It is better to, I think it is better to say it in a present time.
Yeah, especially if you're telling a story.
Yeah.
Lesson 5, common pronunciation mistakes. Okay. Yeah. We're going to test what you've learned on week 2 anyway. So this is so far so good. Let's go to lesson 7, anime fan.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Advantage of cooking skills, advantage. Ayun, na-miss mo. Dun sa natural advantage of cyclists, I left the final sentence incomplete. Hindi mo siya kinompleto.
You always get. If you have to look at someone who,
You will also get ano? So I left that incomplete so you could fill in the gaps and complete the sentence. So anyway, let's go to activity part 2.
okay.
So you say here that you sometimes do cycling. What
Yes.
kind of bike do you
But,
ride?
excuse me.
What kind of bike do you ride?
Just a simple, but actually I don't know what is the kind of bike, but sometimes I just roaming around near to our house.
Oh, okay. Is that your bike or are you borrowing it?
Yeah, it's my bike.
Okay. Do you know if it's a mountain bike or if it's a road bike
Yeah,
or?
it's actually a mountain bike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are really good. Um. Anyway, let's. Oh, you know how to draw?
A little.
Okay, that's awesome. So when you finish, we're gonna request for some fan art so that we're going to use for the website. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah,
So
why not?
draw us with your favorite anime characters. So this
Okay.
time the you're going to read this I guess short essay, and I'm going
Okay.
to give you some feedback. So go ahead, start telling me about the advantages of someone who knows how to draw.
All right. So, advantages of someone who knows how to draw. People who excellent in the drawing are good to hire. They are creative. They are detailed oriented. They have a lot of patience. They can work independently. If a person is creative, he or she will help you to have new concepts in your company. In terms of sales, he or she can help you to sell creatively in a way that people will be caught and be able to buy your products. If a person has a skill in drawing, he or she also has incredible attention to detail. With this skill, he or she will be able to help your company to see the things that you need to improve, to see the things that you need to change, to identify different techniques for your company to become better. In terms of sales, he or she will help the customer to understand the product. People who have excellent skills in drawing have a lot of patience. Patience is a virtue. Most of most of the companies will be happy to hire someone who doesn't give up easily, has a lot of patience to close the deal with customers. A person who knows how to draw can work independently. If he or she can work independently, he or she shows a sense of willingness to do the work. You don't need to push him or her to study the product because he or she will do it for herself, him or herself. He or she will try his or her best just
Okay,
to help to improve the company.
very good. Um, so far so good. It sounds great, and you know my only complaint, right? Like the they, just
Yeah.
replacing the they with the more specific term. But so far so good. Okay.
Mhm.
When it comes to pronunciation, you have a good tone of voice, and you also have good speaking volume. Like the only time I couldn't hear you is when your signal went bad. But otherwise, you sound okay. Like if you've listened to some of my other phone coaching sessions, one of the big problem that I encounter with some of my students is they speak super softly. In your case, you speak loud and clear. So great job. All right.
Okay.
Um. So the goal at this point is to just use the more specific word to complete your sentence, and that's it. That's the main goal at this point. Now I want you to read the next part, and then um, before I ask you to begin, I'm going to explain something real quick. Since
Okay.
we're Filipinos, we have a lot of exposure to American media. We know how we can. We're one of the few Asian movies that I mean. We're one of the few Asians who can watch English movies without any subtitles, or like
Okay.
we don't need a Tagalog translation in when we watch English movies. Um,
Mm-hmm.
However, as Filipinos, we've evolved and we have two pronunciations for a lot of the Filipino words. We have the Taglish pronunciation and we have the English pronunciation.
Yeah.
And I can hear that your pronunciation is very close to the English pronunciation. However, there are some words that sounded a little Taglish, but not all the time. Like earlier, I heard that when you said the word the, oh, are you okay?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I heard the
There is a
boat in the
motorcycle.
background. Is that a boat?
It's a motorcycle.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard a boat. Um, so for the most part, you sound okay. You're a little close to the English pronunciation. I've heard a couple of words that sounded a little close to the Taglish or the Taglish pronunciation of the English words. So earlier when you said the word the, parang medyo D sound siya instead of the TH sound. But when you said the again, it sounded okay. Like on the succeeding sentence with the word the. So this time, like with that in mind, like knowing that there's a Taglish pronunciation and there's an English pronunciation, I want you to just focus on giving the English pronunciation for when you read the advantages of someone who has no working experience. Okay?
Okay, okay.
So let's hear it. Let's hear the advantages of someone who has no working experience. Go.
Okay. People who have no working experience are good to hire. They are fresh, they are obedient, they are determined. It is better to hire someone it is better to hire someone who has no experience. Their mind is fresh. They will follow whatever that you ask them to do. They will do everything to learn from you. They are excited to learn from you. They have the potential to stay in your company, to stay maybe until forever. People who have no working experience are determined. They will do everything to impress you. They also have the tendency to do the task independently because they believe that they can do. The company will be very happy to have someone determined. People who have no working experience have also a sense of willingness. They will do whatever you ask them to do, and excited because for them it is something new.
Okay. This looks like a good answer. Let's hear activity three.
Okay,
You read the
okay,
title.
okay. Advantages of hiring Calvin. I am the best person for this position. I am responsible. I am good at planning and execution. I am also a result-oriented person. In a previous work, I make sure to always meet the deadline. I don't want to delay my work. If I need to extend my time, I will do it, even though it has no payment. I will extend my time just to finish my task. I am good at planning and execution. I used to create lesson plans. In every lesson plan, there are detailed actions to do. I always execute whatever is in my plan. I am result-oriented person. I am always looking forward to the outcome of my work. You need to hire me because I am determined. I focus on what I am doing. Every detail counts. I can never prove that if you will not hire me. Bet on me.
Very good. It sounds very confident, don't you think?
Maybe because I just keep on speaking for at least 1 hour. Speaking in English, that's the reason why I became more confident. Unlike when we started, like I am shaking, but right now I feel more confident because I can feel that you are just here to you are here to guide me and
Yeah.
not to judge me.
Yeah, I'm supposed to judge you, but I'm also supposed to give you the correction, like what you can do. So that's okay. Um, this is okay. Like, yeah, just for the purpose of the activity, the sentences sound okay. I made a change to one sentence, and that's it.
Hmm.
However, if you are, I am not going to recommend that you use this for job application. I'm not
Hmm.
going to recommend that you use this to answer the question, why should I hire you? Or what are your strengths? The main reason is that this um, this essay, this short collection of thoughts, sounds like sounds more like a promise.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when you talk about your, like when you go on a date, you don't tell the girl that you should make me your boyfriend because I am a an honest, reliable, hardworking person, and I follow and execute the plan that I have made for myself. And I always have a good outcome when I work. And I'm determined, and I can prove that I am a good boyfriend if you hire me, if you make me your boyfriend, right? It doesn't sound
Hmm.
very convincing. Now, you almost had it. You almost had it. When so you began with a few sentences that boasts about your positive traits. I am responsible. I am good at planning and execution. I'm also a results-oriented person. This is where I saw the light in what you're saying. In my previous work, I make sure to always meet my deadline. I don't want to delay my work. If I need to extend my time, I will do it. These are examples of things that you did.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, you stopped here. You stopped telling the story.
Hmm.
And then you went back to, like positive descriptions about yourself.
Hmm.
So when you are trying to convince people, you want to talk about positive things that you did in the past instead of your positive traits. However, you want to talk about positive things that you did in the past that highlights your positive traits. So, for example, how do you convince the girl that you're responsible? Talk about the responsible things that you did when you were studying. The responsible things that talk about your responsibilities at home, right?
Okay.
If you want to convince the girl that you're a responsible guy, um, what's give me a positive trait that you think a girl likes in a guy.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Come on, you're good in love advice.
yeah. A person, a guy who has a goal in life.
So a girl likes a guy with a goal. So instead
Yeah.
of saying that I have a goal, talk about your goal. My goal is, and then talk about your goal. My goal is to get a job that pays 50,000 a month. I also want it. I'm also working on. Also trying to save money. I'm also saving up so I can buy a house, buy a car, and maybe have my own business or something like that. Instead of saying
Okay.
that
So
I am the
yeah.
kind of person that
So
has a goal, right?
yeah. So
When
it
you
is better
go, yeah,
to say or to state my experience than
that,
to just state what I have. What I
yeah,
mean is just that sounds like a promise.
yeah. So you want to give proof instead of promises.
Mhm.
So you can either talk about your past or talk about what you're doing at the moment, like what you're presently doing,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
So I want you to think about each of these positive traits. Like you're responsible, good at planning and execution. Tell me a story about the time where you're planning and executing. Tell me a story
Mhm.
about a time when you are focused on the results.
Okay.
Tell me more about this. Like this story is incomplete. Like I'm interested. Like make sure you always meet your deadline. Like okay, tell me a time about you're trying to hit a deadline, right? Or what's even more interesting, tell me a story about a time when you missed the deadline and why that changed you. Why do you now meet deadlines moving forward? So sometimes you can talk about success, sometimes you can talk about failure. Like exactly what you did with the Apple hiking story. Talk about a failure, talk about an event where things didn't go according to plan, and talk about how that changed you. You did that very well in that story, by the way.
Mhm.
So you
Okay.
want to. It smells like it's gonna rain. Is it raining where you're in Quezon City, right? Or Caloocan?
I'm, yes,
Is
I'm
it
I'm from Caloocan.
is it raining where you are?
As of the moment, it stopped already.
Oh, so okay, so it started raining there earlier. Well,
Yeah, I'm here.
yeah, it looks like it's gonna rain here. Well, anyway, before my signal goes flaky, let's let's do a quick recap. So, for the corrections, the majority of the focus would be to use more specific words instead of the pronouns, and instead minimize the use of it, that, something, um, and that's it. And, oh yeah, and at the end, you want to use stories that point out their positive traits.
Okay.
And then for the pronunciation, you want to take care of the TH sound and the P and F sound.
Mhm.
And here's the thing with those sounds, you sound mostly okay, but it slips sometimes. You're going to get to hear that in the recording.
Okay.
Okay? Um, so,
Okay.
so yeah, at this point, do you have any questions or anything that you'd like me to explain in detail?
So far, I don't have any questions. Everything is clear to me. And
Okay.
as long as I can hear the, as long as I can also hear the recording.
Oh
And
yeah,
the
it might take
recorded,
it might take a week or two. I have a lot of
okay.
coaching scheduled. The problem with the
Okay.
recording is I usually check, but I don't imagine seeing a lot of things that I need to cut out from your recording because I do my best
Mm-hmm.
to cut out like private information. Like I didn't think we covered any private information here anyway. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I'll be able to post this real quick. But so yeah, that's pretty much it. Come on, last call. have anything? Like anything to ask, or did any question come to
Yeah.
mind when you were writing?
Well, I don't have. I don't really have any questions so far. Maybe on the other phone coaching.
Yeah, the next phone coaching will focus more on pronunciation. So
Uh, that is.
please,
That is. I think. That pronunciation is one of the problems that I have, especially the PH sound. I am really having difficulty because if you are familiar with the condition of a person who has underbite, I am one of them.
underbite.
Yeah,
I've heard of
whereas
it. Okay, give me a little more
where,
detail.
underbite person has the lower teeth is actually ano ba to, parang mas extend siya kaysa sa upper. Yeah,
Your lower teeth are
something
longer than your upper teeth.
upper. Yeah,
Are you talking about your front teeth?
yeah, front teeth. Yeah,
Okay. When you use the
yeah.
th sound, so think of it this way: the opposite of the th sound is the d sound. All right. So the
Mm-hmm.
letter D.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're saying the word the. The opposite of that is
Yeah,
saying da, right?
yes.
When you say da, what happens is your tongue touches the roof of your mouth close to the front teeth, right? Da, right? Like dog or dinosaur or dragon, right? Like your
Yes.
tongue, the tip of your tongue touches the back of your front teeth and it
Mm-hmm.
sticks and then you make the sound. However, when you make the th sound like the, that, them, there, all those words that I ask you to
Mm-hmm.
stop using, um, what do you call that? It doesn't fully stick. It sticks, but it. Oh, sorry. Your tongue does not stick fully to the back of your front teeth. Your tongue sticks a little bit, like it lightly touches the back of your front teeth and it vibrates as you make the sound. Your tongue and the back of your front teeth slightly vibrates as you make the sound. So
Okay.
when you say the, that, you feel it, right? Okay, give it
Yeah.
a try. The,
The
that, them, then, there.
that that them there.
Okay, and that sounds good. So I guess your problem is you can say it, but you don't end up saying it all the time. I kind of noticed that about 80% of the time, like out of 10 words that have a th sound, you say, you pronounce the words correctly 8 times out of 10, and then you're going to miss one or two. So our goal
Mm-hmm.
is to just, be more consistent. You got the pronunciation.
Okay.
You just need to be mindful when you're making the th sound, and like, I guess the best explanation is the Tagalog explanation. Bantayan mo lang yung words that have that sound.
Yeah.
Because you can say it. Like, say it again. The, that, them, there, then, this.
The that them they
Yeah.
there
Mm-hmm.
this these those that.
Very good.
Yeah.
You missed one, but that's okay. So, yeah, you just be careful when you're saying words that have the th sound.
Okay.
Overall, it's okay. You get more time
Okay.
as you get more out of, you get more used to pronouncing the words as you get more practice.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that.
Sure. And if you have questions, just send us a message. And yeah, we'll schedule your next session as soon as you complete week 2. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye.